Hello, everyone. This is Ferrante Frazier. I am doing this show called Natural is F with the ATR Media platform. And we want to thank you for tuning in. We do it every Tuesday at 6 o'clock. Now, I know a lot of us may be, just getting off from work and all, but every Tuesday at 6 o'clock, you got a spot to come in and view a more natural way of correcting your health issues. Now, I know there's so many different modalities out there in the world, and we really don't know what to, believe. Everybody telling us we need to use this herb, we need to use this remedy, we need to use these cures, treatments, we need to be scared of all the viruses and germs and all kind of bacteria out here in the world. And we even being told that we can't even talk, we can't have a mind to think for ourselves. If it ain't what the experts are saying, we need to be muffled, we need to be quieted, we need to just shut up, in other words. So we can't think for ourselves anymore. We can't even think for our own bodies. We have no control of our own bodies no more when we're watching these different corporations. These corporations dictate what's good for our bodies, what's good for our life and our health and strength. Now, we got to think about it. Mankind been on the earth for, according to the Bible, a little over close to 7,000 years. According to science, we've been here a couple of billions of years. Even so, the medical profession has only been here for a hot 400 to 600 years, not thousands, but just 400 to 600 years. Now, mankind has been thriving way before any medical man ever existed, to the point where life went on for many, many, many thousands of years and never needed a surgeon. They never needed a medical man. They never needed treatments and remedies. But those people was living without the McDonald's. They were living without the Burger King. They were living without the liquor stores. They were living without the so-called other drugs and all the other unnatural things that we have accumulated in our world. So the medical profession brought with it a delusion of curing, under the pretense that they can do away with all our symptoms while we continue in our unhealthy lifestyle. I've had clients that come to me, and as we're talking, it disturbs me how their doctors are constantly telling them that they are just getting rid of symptoms. They're doing nothing for cause. Matter of fact, what causes that, when the client come to me and they tell me what is going with them, I know what's in their lifestyle that's causing it. The way they're eating, the way they're drinking, the way they getting enough rest, their thought pattern, something in their personal lifestyle habits or in their environmental environment is producing their symptoms of poisoning. And only until they correct that do they get better. But the medical doctor, he want to send them back to the poison. You're eating. You go to there complaining, I haven't been able to eat, beef in a long time, or hamburgers, and because it upset my stomach. Well, I'll give you something, and you'll be back to eating hamburgers in no time. So they're not correcting the issues. They're only palliating and suppressing symptoms to allow us to continue in the bad habits that further takes us into chronic issues. These are the problems that we're having today in our mainstream medical expert opinions. What we advise or suggest that you find that modality of cure that teaches you the personal responsibility of your actions and your environment as it relates to your health. See, the only modality we know that does such a thing is natural hygiene. And that's what we bring to you. We bring you a way of correcting your health issue and healing your body naturally. It's just that you have to apply it. You can come to this platform and listen all day, every day. You can jot down, you can be the best note taker. But if you don't apply what the teachings of natural F teach, the natural hygiene, because that's what natural F follow, the natural hygiene approach, that's what we teach here. That's all I talk about up here. I don't talk about no other modality. You don't hear me discussing anything about any sea moss. You don't hear me saying nothing about no alkaline minerals and stuff like that or you'll say remedies and supplements. You hear me not talk about any type of treatments, anything of that nature. It's not what I went to school for. I went to school to learn about pills and potions, chemical concoctions, any of that stuff. I went to school to learn about how to live in such a way, the natural state. What was the natural state of man? What type of air man should be breathing? What type of drink man should be drinking? What type of food is biologically designed for the human organism? How much rest a man should have? What type of exercise is ideal? Temperatures, relationships, poise. All the, what air should he be breathing? What does his environment, consist of in being clean? And that's what we need to be putting out there to the public. That's what a doctor should be doing, teaching, not medicating. That's what doctor stands for now. It's teacher. That's what the word doctor means. Teacher. It doesn't necessarily mean a person who cuts and prescribes pills and potions. That's what we get the notion of. You got many doctors out here, and there are the teachers of their profession. Now, that's not what our topic is today, but I just wanted to share that because I see that we are really being bamboozled into believing that the medical doctors are the supreme superiors when it comes to health. And they are the last on the scene. The last ones on the scene. You had all kind of modalities way prior to the medical profession. Before there ever was a medical drug or any of that stuff. You had the herbal ones. That's where they just handed down to the medical field. Before that, you had those that were casting out demons. Chopping off arms. You had a diseased part, they just cut it off. And that's what we're going on. But hygiene is a different, it's a superlative way of caring for yourself. Because all it does is teaches you how to get in alignment with the natural state of being. The way that your body's supposed to be healthy. And it will be healthy when you supplant yourself in the right conditions and you apply the right principles to your life, and you'll see a springing up of newness in your cells and tissues, regeneration, growth, natural growth of good tissue when you apply the teachings of natural hygiene. Now, in our teachings, as we were teaching in our last show, if you notice, we were talking about different vitamins and minerals. And, it's a big talk, it's a big talk in our news today as well. Everybody is jumping on the bandwagon trying to get you to take their inorganic minerals. Now, inorganic minerals are dead minerals, dead material. They want you to take their rocks. They're bringing you rocks and putting it in your water. They grinding and pulverizing rocks and all type of other so-called inorganic materials, dust and sand. And they're mixing it in your food and calling it fortified, your food, with vitamins and minerals. They take it out when they, strip the wheat of all its vitamins and minerals and turn it into white flour. And then they enrich the white flour. That's the word they use, enrich. Back with vitamin E. But he took it out of the wheat. And now it's plain white flour that has no type of benefit whatsoever. It has no vitamins and minerals in it. But then you go to the sand and rocks to replenish the flour with the same stuff you just took out. Now, why did you take it out? Now, the reason why you took it out, because in the wheat, you had living vitamins and minerals. They were alive. They were active. In the one that they're bringing is dead material. It's inert. It has no life in it. It's just raw, dead raw soil. So, dead stuff is already dead. But living stuff can die. That's when you see in apples and pears, you have living vitamins and minerals in there. And as soon as you cut into it, it starts oxidizing, escaping, and dying. So the fruit dies. Heat destroys it and all this stuff. And we were talking about that in our last show. How a lot of our food is destroyed by cooking, by processing, by refining. Because the way that we nurture our bodies, now nutrition is not just food alone. Remember that. Because in natural hygiene, we talk about, fresh air, sunlight, water, and a host of other things that will properly nurture the human body. But we see that, in nutrition, we can eat plenty of food, but only until that food can be digested, broken down. That's what digestion is. It got to be pulled apart into simple pieces. You bring a whole puzzle, the body can't use the puzzle. It got to be taken into pieces and then repuzzle back together into a new puzzle. So when you take food into your body, the body have to break that food down into simple pieces. It absorbs it into the blood. And then it assimilated into cells where it's restructured into now cell structure, or it's used to help the cell function. Now, anything can't do that. Just because we're eating Oreos don't mean that the Oreos has been properly digested and absorbed and assimilated into flesh and blood and bone. We eat this stuff, and this stuff sits in our stomach and rots in our digestive tracts and rots and be stored in our fatty tissues and stored in joint areas as waste material, irritating and causing inflammation in our body. Those things we need to pay attention to. We don't see our body healing. We see our body being destroyed when we're eating these toxic foods that have no type of vitamins and minerals in them. So we're wondering how we're getting deficiencies. If we're getting deficiencies because we're eating food that is already deficient. We're wondering why we're suffering from these diseases. According to the book, it tells us that, all diseases influence, the diseases that are influenced by deficiencies are cancer, cardiovascular diseases, diabetes, degenerative arthritis, multiple sclerosis, infectious diseases, periodontal diseases, and others. All these things are due to deficiencies in our eating. Our body is not getting the materials. It's like as if Home Depot was bringing a truck to the work site, bringing materials, but never had what was needed on the truck. They didn't have no wood, so we couldn't never frame anything. They didn't have no pipes, so we couldn't, do no plumbing. They had no bricks, so we couldn't put on the outside. So we couldn't do no work really. All we had was wires, a bunch of wires and screws. We can't build no house out of just wires and screws. We can't build a house out of this toxic stuff that we're putting in our body. We're not getting the vitamins and minerals that is needed for a proper buildup of our tissues and cells. When we eating, we got to eat food that when it's broken down, it's full of vitamins and minerals that is usable, not rocks, but it got to be active and usable, fully charged. And we get that from the fruits and vegetables that we eat. You eat these fruits and vegetables, and it goes into your stomach, and it's broken down, and the body can pull from there the vitamins. It pull that vitamin E and pull out that magnesium and pull out that potassium and all the other trace minerals that the body that is in that food, and it separates them, and they're sent out to their respectable places. Any organ or tissue or cell that need magnesium, well, it's in the blood. It's circulating, and it can pull from the blood what it needs. So the blood becomes the storehouse for the whole body, the whole organism. So what you're storing in your blood determines what is available for your cells and tissues. And if there's no good material stored in the blood, then that cell must be without. It's deficient. It has no potassium in which to rebuild itself. It has no magnesium in which to store in its nervous system. So you become nervous and have these nervous diseases. You have no calcium stored in your bones because there's none was in the blood, because you never ate anything with calcium, because you always ate this dead food. You was always at McDonald's and Burger King and Wendy's and all these other places that have foods that are vitamin and mineral deficient. And that's what you fed yourself on all day, every day. If you notice, when these people were coming over into, we can look at something easily in history and see how deficiency produces, mineral and vitamin deficiency produce our sicknesses in our life if we're not eating properly. Now let's look at when the first settlers, according to our history books, came over, I guess Plymouth Rock or any of this other so-called stuff. When they came over, they were settling. Now, most of them died on the journey. Why did they die? They were feeding themselves off of fatted meats and all type of meat slops, because it was a long journey. Any fruits or vegetables that they had already eaten them or they done rotted. All right, so you're not going to keep fruits in a hot vessel for a long period of time. So they ran out of water. They were sitting there, and most of them wasn't even bringing no water. They didn't have much water on the ship. They thought what they needed was whiskey or other so-called alcoholic drinks. That was the drink of the day. So these people were eating unnatural foods and drinking unnatural drinks along their journey, and they were suffering from their smallpox and all the other so-called diseases of that time, when they were throwing up and dying, malaria and all type of stuff. These people came and settled and didn't have no food available. They didn't know how to do no growing or anything like that. They were still just scavenging. Now the Indians, they didn't suffer none of that stuff. They didn't suffer none of those issues that the so-called white man was suffering from, until they started sitting at his table and eating that same slop and drinking his drinks, his poisons and stuff. And the white man didn't start feeling better until the Indians came and started showing them how to grow food, where they can have some real food, food from the earth, and stop eating that toxic stuff that they were getting sick over here for them to survive, and that mess that they brought with them. So the diseases was the result of their deficiencies. They were suffering diseases such as beriberi because they were on foods that were just nothing but carbohydrates. They was eating a bunch of rice. We see that in the rice eating communities. They suffered deficiencies, and the communities that's on nothing but oodles and oodles and oodles of noodles. And we see that now in our day and age. We got the noodles on lock. Our kids, they can pop the noodles in the microwave with no problem. And have that old pack of nothing but salt and preservatives and all type of other seasoning packets. And we're wondering why our children are suffering. We send them, we wake them up in the morning with a Pop-Tart. Pop-Tart has no such vitamins and minerals that can help the child be strong or anything. And from that, we then give them chicken nuggets and French fries or a slice of pizza for lunch. And then for dinner, we got them with a pack of noodles or some spaghetti or some other food that has no nutritional value. And as these kids, they start suffering and start losing their tonsils and losing their adenoids, and their teeth are falling out, and they're having their skin issues, and they're having all these other so-called problems. We're wondering, and we're blaming it on viruses, and we're blaming it on bacteria, and we're blaming it on germs and stuff. When in fact, we're feeding our kids deficient foods. We're feeding them foods that we're sending the Home Depot truck to their house fully empty, with nothing in there for them to rebuild themselves. Now they can't get vitamins and minerals from the Pop-Tart. The Nabisco is not a good place for vitamins and minerals. I wouldn't go to Nabisco for that. I wouldn't go to Kellogg's. Kellogg's don't know nothing about properly feeding. You're not going to find vitamins and minerals in pressed wheat, burnt wheat, sugary cornflakes. How can you get nurtured from the chocolate O's, Count Dracula, and the blueberry blue? Is that the berry blue? You know which one I'm talking about. All these different foods that can live on the shelf indefinitely. They have no life in them. But we expect to derive life from something that is unliving, that is dead itself. Dead material can't cause life into you. But if we notice that when we go to the plant area of the supermarket, it's thriving and it's living. You see tomatoes looking all red and beautiful right there. And you got apples. You can smell the peaches when you walk past them. I was telling somebody that's how I was the other day. You can look at the watermelon all sliced and cut up, and pineapple, just all the aroma just hitting you. All this living stuff over there. Vitamins telling you, come here, enjoy me, come and have a good day, and eat and nurture yourself. It's pleasant to the smell, pleasant to the eyes, pleasant to the taste. So that's what our body truly craves. And not really crave, that's what it desires. That's what it's designed for. All the other stuff, we crave because it's an addiction. We're addicted to those type of foods. And that's what it's for us to be addictive anyhow. That's how these corporations get paid. They dump so much poison into the food. They dump so much preservatives in the food where it can last for a long time. And that's going into our body. We're just like the embalming fluid is going into these meats. We eat the meat and we're taking on the toxins that was in that meat. So we're embalming ourselves every time we eat this embalmed meat that they got out there looking so beautiful on the shelves. all this preservative and MSG and excitotoxins and neurotoxins that they got in our food. Now, these things are really causing us to suffer our disease. Now, remember I told you it's not just nutrition and food, but I'm just trying to show you how the food that we are eating is playing a big part of our degeneration. Remember I told you, when we're eating foods that were designed for the human body, then we're getting the foods that are rich in vitamins and minerals. So if they're rich in vitamins and minerals, then, how can we be deficient? You eat an apple and the apple is broken down, because the apple can be broken down, because the stomach is not just going to break down anything, into smaller parts. It can't just break anything down. If it wasn't designed to, it's not designed to break down Oreos. The human digestive tract was never designed to break down Oreos. It was designed to break down fresh fruits and vegetables. Apples, pears, peaches, plums. So when a plum comes there into your stomach, it knows what to do. That's what it was designed to do. To break down, it's just like your lungs. Your lungs can't process chlorophyll and all type of other air pollutants and gases and nitrous oxides and all type of things like that. You cough to it. It doesn't respond well to unnatural air and fumes. But oxygen, it takes on with delight, because that's what it was designed to do. The human stomach, when the food that was designed, what it was designed to process and break down, comes to it, it has no problem doing it. But when these unnatural foods come about, it's sitting there like, what do you want me to do with this Oreo? What do you want me to do with this Dorito? What do you want me to do with these oodles and oodles of noodles? What do you want me to do with them? I can't do anything with it. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let it sit here and just break down on its own, or I'm gonna just send a bunch of acid, just burn it all up. And then now you got this diarrhea, you got this bowel movement, excessive bowel action, because everything is turning into waste. And if it's not coming out as waste, then it's accumulating inside your body. Now, this is not favorable. And we've been doing that not just a week. And we haven't just been doing that for a month. And some of us haven't been doing it just for a year. Most of us have been doing it all our life. We've been putting unnatural food in our body almost all our life, so our cells and tissues never really had a chance to regenerate. Our storehouse has been empty for quite too long, if we think about it. Every now and then again, we'll pop a grape in our mouth, or watermelon season come around, we'll buy us one watermelon, and if we don't let it sit over there in the corner and rot, we'll cut a couple of slices and stick the rest in the refrigerator until it rots. Every now and then, we'll grab a banana, or we eat a half an orange, or half a grapefruit. That's what we call getting our fruit intake. But that is nowhere necessary to the amount of vitamins and minerals that our body needs. You see animals in nature, when, like the gorilla, for example, you see him eat a half a banana? No. That joker gonna eat until his hunger is satiated. That joker gonna sit there and start throwing 2 bananas in his mouth at a time. And he gonna keep eating the bananas until he's full. He might eat about 40 or 50 of them before he gets satiated. I'm not telling you to go out there and eat 40 or 50 bananas. But at times, I've eaten 5 or 6, sometimes 10 at times of eating. I mostly doing a bunch of sports nutrition at the time where I was eating huge amounts of banana. But even here, we see that, when you're eating, you have to eat enough. You never see nobody eat one donut when they go to Krispy Kreme. They get a dozen. And that box is almost, when that box get to you, probably about 2 or 3 of them left in there. You don't be able to like, let me get this a piece of the donut. But you want to eat 2 wedges of an orange. Oh, I'm so full. This orange just got me so full. I eat a whole half of orange. There's no way that one half of orange got you full. You're just not desiring to eat it because it's not stimulating like the donut. You're not craving the orange like you is the donut or the chicken wings or the shrimp. How many crab legs can you eat? How many oysters can you eat? Do you eat a half an oyster? I just want one oyster. Just give me a piece of I just want the one claw of the snow crab leg. That's not how we eat. But when we go to eating fruit, we go get a handful of grapes. The doctor said I can't eat too much fruit. But he told you can liberally eat all the snow crab legs you can. He told you can liberally eat all the pigtails, all the neck bone. And you can have all the prime rib you want. There's no problem. But when it comes to the fruit, hey man, I only want you to eat no more than a half a banana. And don't eat too many grapes. It'll shoot your sugar up. That's what they tell you. People getting sugar without even ever eating fruit. But they want to say fruit is the culprit of your sugar. Man, done damage yourself. And fruit is the only thing left there to try to help them out, but you're going to blame it on the sugar. And according to our book, it says that enzymes control every vital function of the body, from the digestive of food to the production of cells to the smallest movement. Enzymes. Without enzymes, there would be no life. The body's enzymes, in turn, depend on small but essential amounts of trace minerals and vitamins. The non-trace minerals, such as calcium and magnesium, are also needed in enzymes. So enzymes control every vital function of our body. To digest food, we need digestive enzymes. To repair our body, we need metabolic enzymes. For it to function, these metabolic activity, these are enzymes that does this. But for enzymes to be enzymes, to make enzymes, there must be minerals involved and vitamins involved to make these enzymes. The body makes the enzymes out of these vitamins and minerals that we take into our body. So digestion can't happen if we're not getting vitamins and minerals to make digestive enzymes. Metabolic enzymes cannot be made if we're not bringing in vitamins and minerals in which to make metabolic enzymes. Now, what are metabolic enzymes? Metabolic enzymes are the enzymes that break down old cells and tissue and build new ones. Metabolism can't go on without metabolic enzymes. There's no healing going to take place because there's no reconstruction, because there's no enzymes to do it. And why there's no enzyme? Because you don't bring in any vitamins. Deficiency diseases. You remember we talked about last week. Deficient diseases that you got certain ones that don't allow for healing, oxidation and all type of stuff going on in the body because you're lacking certain vitamins and minerals. And so you end up with these deficiencies. Slow healing. Why? Because there's no metabolism. There's no workers. Enzymes are the workers to reconstruct the body and tear out old decaying matter and put in new tissue. Tear out that old wall that's been blown up. The fire that went on in the bathroom, in the liver and in the kidney or something like that. It can be repaired, provided that the right enzymes are there to do so. And the only way you can have the right enzymes is if you got the vitamins and minerals that can make those enzymes. And the only way you can get the vitamins and minerals is through what you're eating. You got to eat fresh fruits and vegetables. You can't get the enzymes that can heal your bones out of a Big Mac. It's just not going to happen. 8-piece from KFC ain't going to do it. The chicken tenders from Carrier, the slab of ribs from Longhorn or Ruby Tuesday, it's just not going to give you the vitamins and minerals that you need. What's the best place to get the vitamins and minerals you need? Mother Nature has prepared the best feast for you. No chef can design a meal more properly than Mother Nature. No chemical biologist can press a peel more nurturing than Mother Nature as she did when she created the apple, the pear, the peaches, the plums, the papaya, the mangoes, the grapefruit, the kiwi, all the precious fruits and vegetables that we have coming in season after season on the trees, those that have the seed within themselves, that shall be for us, for me. That's the ideal thing that's going to keep us replenished and strong. Our dietitians of today, they're making sure we die with their understanding. And it's a misunderstanding. We can admit they're wrong. Why they can't admit they're wrong? Would it matter if they say, okay, we sorry, we've been feeding y'all the wrong stuff. It's time for us to, get them back on track? But if your dietitian would tell you to eat more fruits and vegetables and stay away from all type of meats and cooked foods and denatured food, and they constantly put this out there, instead of you seeing, like they banned McDonald's and all these other so-called restaurants from airing their toxic foods on air, hypnotizing us. And if we see more gardening going on, we seen, the fields being shown in movies. We have people singing and rapping about, fresh fruits and vegetables. That would make a big change in the mindset of people. And it will cause a big change in the world. But who wants that change? Who want people to live healthy? There ain't no money in that. We got this big old hospital with all them bright lights in there and all those surgery tables and all these fancy equipment. Who gonna pay for that? Who's gonna pay for those fancy cars that sit out there in the parking lot and those extravagant houses? You say, well, they earned this stuff. They practiced so much. They went to school and dedicated their life to medicine. They've dedicated their life to drugging, palliating, suppressing people's symptoms, and that's why we're suffering more chronic diseases today. And we're going to give them a hand clap. A round of applause for the individuals who are causing iatrogenic diseases. Diseases that mankind would not be suffering from right now had they not been medicated with the medical drugs and the so-called taking out of all our body parts, telling us we don't need it. You don't need your tonsils. What God put that there for? You don't need your adenoids. What do you need that appendix for? It has no purpose in our body. God made a mistake. He put a whole darn organ tissue in our body. Then he had our gallbladder, Those things are not necessary. God made mistakes, according to the medical mentality. When we listen to it, he tells us this stuff is not necessary. Take it out. You don't need it. He sure would take it out for you. He don't seek to find out what caused the appendix to well, it don't burst until you get there to them and they push on it. Soon as you get there and they start pushing and squeezing on you and meddling with you, it can cause it to explode. Now, according to say, over 1,000 enzymes have been identified, and based on estimates of metabolic functions that require enzymes, there are 30,000 or more. Enzymes work in every part of the body, from the cardiovascular system to the nervous system, to the immune system, to the glandular and organ system. So enzymes are so important. And if we're suffering today, it's because we lack the proper enzyme to do the work to function the way we need them to function. Every minute of every day, the body carries on an estimated 2 million biochemical reactions. So every minute, now that's just a minute. We done been on this show 44 minutes. Every minute of every day, the body carries on an estimated 2 million biochemical reactions. So we're 44 minutes. That's 44 times 2 million. All right. So that should be what, 88 million? 88 million biochemical reactions have happened since you sat down and started watching this show with me. That's a lot of reactions that happen in your body. And all those reactions, those 88 million reactions, every last one of them require enzymes, which in turn depend on minerals and vitamins as what they consider coenzymes. So 88 million, well, it's a little more now because we just went up another minute or two. So it's about 90 some thousand, 90 some million biochemical reactions, 92 million biochemical reactions have happened since we've been in this show. And every last one of them reactions require enzymes. And all enzymes require vitamins and minerals. And if you're not eating fruits and vegetables, people, how in the world are you going to have enzymes? And how in the world are you going to take care of these 90 some million biochemical reactions, if you have no enzyme? All because you wasn't told to eat an apple, pear, peach, plum, watermelon, oranges. That's where you're going to get your vitamins and minerals from. And you can't cook these stuff when you're eating all these lettuces, cucumbers, and bell peppers, squash, broccoli, bok choy, and all these different fruits and vegetables. Once you put heat to them, you destroy them. You cook them in a bunch of water and drain the water off. You leach out all the vitamins and minerals and pour it off in the sink. You pour it down the sink. The sink is highly vitamized and mineralized. Your sink is so healthy because you done pour down all the vitamins and minerals down your sink. It's in your gutter. Well, whatever you call it. But it's down the sink. But you're eating a bunch of empty carcass in a vegetable. Your vegetable don't have the amount of vitamins and minerals in it because you done leached it all out in the boiling process, the cooking process. You oxidized it. You burned it out. Deficiencies All these diseases that we talked about are the result of deficiencies. And if we want to get rid of those deficiencies, we got to make sure that we start eating a more wholesome diet of fresh fruits and vegetables, nuts and seeds. Why food is better than supplements. A lot of people want to go and get supplements to supplement their inadequate diet. They don't want to eat the fresh fruits and vegetables. They rather take one of their pills and all kind of other so-called supplements to supplement a bad way of eating. They don't want to stop the hamburger eating, the rib eating, and the oxtails and turkey wings and the macaroni and cheese and all the other foods that has no nutritional value for them. Nothing but a bunch of grease, fat grease, oils and butters and different stuff, and a bunch of other calories that's going to cause them issues and suffering. Those things we don't want to stop according to the way that we've been living. Brought up that way most of the time. But the thing is, instead of us want to give that up, we rather go or listen to these people who trying to sell their drugs to us. These drug dealers. They're constantly trying to offer you some new medicine. Hey, you don't have to give up your toxic eating. We got a pill for you. Now, if you can send us, we got this concoction of fish oil, or we got these B12 supplements, or we got this so-called whole mega somebody. You know what I mean? And they want to sell it to you. And they sit there with their person up there all beefed up talking about, yeah, I've been taking this supplement and it made me strong. And I've been taking it. I eat my hamburger and my pizza and all type of stuff. And this pill, this little bitty pill, has helped me to be able to eat pizza and still be buff and strong. Come on, man. We know better than that. It's just like the Olympic people. They have you up there believing that your track person just got finished eating a Big Mac and a large fry and a shake before they about to go out here and work. But they're telling you, McDonald's is the sponsor of the Olympics. Like them people actually eat that food. So who's going to be able to go run real fast after just got finished eating Big Mac? Do you feel like running? Do you feel like running off somewhere when you just got finished eating the Big Mac and fries and shake? You don't want to put you to sleep. Your body goes into a sleep coma from all that poison. It's like it goes into a coma. Supplement makers and food fortifiers would like us to believe that our bodies can't tell the difference between synthetic vitamins and vitamins in food. Believe that our body can't tell that, this mess coming out of a bottle to what's coming out of an apple. Like our body is just that dumb, And if we talked about this before, if it was possible that we could, benefit from supplements, why is there ever a need for us to ever eat? If these vitamins and minerals that we can get out of a bottle can nurture our body, well, hey, let's just take pills, people. Let's pop pills. I don't have to eat no more. Instead of eating, I can just pop pills. We some pill poppers anyhow. You know that, right? The medical people have made us drug addicts. We got a pill for everything. No matter what you cry about to him for, he got a pill for you. As a matter of fact, we won't have a show on that, talking about all the different medicines and variations of medicines that they have out here for us. But they're all grouped up under a head, and we're going to get you to understand that later on. Our show is truly educational. We're going to teach you what you should know to keep yourself healthy. And it's up to you. Follow and apply it. I can't exercise for you. I can't eat the fruit for you and make you healthy. It's something you got to do personally on your own. You got to want to live and change your lifestyle where you can feel better. Synthetic vitamins are not the same as vitamins from food, and our bodies can tell the difference. Let's look at vitamin C. Is vitamin C just a chemical known as ascorbic acid or more? When a guy named Savant first isolated ascorbic acid as a cure for scurvy, a curious thing happened. Isolated ascorbic acid would not completely cure scurvy, only delay its onset and lessen its effects. But when vitamin C concentrate from peppers was used, it will cure the scurvy completely. So here it is. It said when this guy's vent actually isolated vitamin C from some fruit or vegetable or something like that, and he gave it to a person with scurvy, it only offset symptoms and conditions. That probably was because the body had to deal with the poison at the same time it was trying to deal with the scurvy. So the body can't deal with two diseases at one time. You have to concentrate on one, trying to heal it. So if you poison yourself, then it got to go and deal with the poison and then come back to the disease. So that you'll say that isolated poison that he concocted probably was just a poison. That's what I get from it. But when he gave vitamin C concentrate out of a straight pepper, it corrected the deficiency, because he gave them something that was full of the vitamins and minerals that the body was lacking in an organic sense. It was from the fresh fruits and vegetables. It was still living. It wasn't dead material. The difference was that ascorbic acid in food is always found with a class of compounds known as flavonoids, which modern researchers have confirmed are necessary to completely prevent or cure scurvy. So when we isolate our vitamins and minerals, we get in trouble, because when we go to the health food store and we go and take vitamin E by itself, or vitamin C by itself, or these different so-called isolated minerals, we are creating deficiencies because other vitamins and minerals need to be present along with those ones for them to be active, for them to work properly. So we suffer more problems with this isolated mess. In grains, minerals, and vitamins loses average 75% or more after the germ and the bran have been removed. When you pull stuff out, you destroy, oxidize. You cut into an apple, how are you going to get anything out of an apple when the apple start rotting as soon as you cut into it? You go to McDonald's and they got apples already cut up for you. How? How is it not turning brown inside that bag? How they can cut an apple and it still look white? You got to think about that. But those are the things we're eating, this sprayed on stuff. We got to make sure that we're getting wholesome fruits and vegetables, nuts and seeds. All right, so we're going to pause right here, and we got a lot of more work on getting you to understand how to eat properly, how to get your fresh fruits and vegetables. So make sure you tune in next week, same time at 6 o'clock. All right, and make sure you share with as many people as you possibly can. Let's get the message around that, our diseases can disappear. We don't have to deal with medicine, herbs, remedies, supplements, and any of that thing. We can go to the best supplement that mankind has ever had, which is the fruits and the vegetable, which is the plant kingdom. The plant kingdom is the source of all our vitamins and minerals. So I want to tell you, thank you for tuning in. I always love everyone who comes here and show the love. And thanks for everybody who commented and left good comments up here. Make sure you share with as many people as possible. We want to thank the All Things Relevant media platform for allowing us to come in. Watch the other shows that they got. Everything is all relevant in our community. Best of health and happiness. I love y'all and see y'all next week.
Like that. like this. I like this. I like this. I like this.